What one man had captured on film on the suburban streets of Chicago was by all accounts bizarre. The subject of the picture was a young boy, not by himself, a particularly unusual child. Rather, it was who he had been photographed with that marked him out. Right next to the kid was a wild animal. And when the story of the bond between the boy and the beast reached the internet, it totally blew up. The boy pictured in the post turned out to be a 10-year-old from the residential suburbs of Chicago. And on one day in 2015, he was doing something so kind-hearted for his companion that someone watching on couldn't help but record it. That someone was Reddit user Blue Collar Classicist, who had been strolling through his local area with his wife early one morning. Having spotted some unusual behavior for a few days in a row, the couple were hoping to come across it again, and as it happens, they were not to be disappointed. Specifically, the pair saw the boy walking down the street in tandem with a female deer. The Reddit user then took a photograph of the scene from behind to protect the boy's anonymity and so as not to scare the skittish pal. And after Blue Collar Classicist had uploaded the picture, it turned out to be unlike anything the community had ever seen. But there was far more to the story than just that. Indeed, the wild animal was no normal deer. Blue Collar Classicist found out that the animal was blind. And after talking to the boy, he discovered the reason why the child was walking down the street with the doe. The Reddit user accompanied his snap of the pair with that information, and it made the online community very emotional. In particular, the seeing eye boy was making sure that the blind deer was safe on the Chicago streets. Extraordinarily, he wasn't simply taking the animal for a stroll. Instead, the child was leading the disabled and vulnerable doe to grassy areas where it could find food. Perhaps the most touching part of the story, though, is that the boy had been doing this each day before he attended school, and Blue Collar Classicist remarked on the kid's calm and kind nature with the deer. To wit, he revealed that the child was very gentle and quiet as he guided the blind animal with his hand or her neck. And as soon as the amazing photo of the boy leading the blind deer down the road hit the internet, the online community practically went crazy for it. More than 1,000 Reddit users commented on the photograph, in fact. What's more, the post eventually received more than 45,000 Reddit upvotes, and the comments under the picture were often incredulous ones. People just could not believe the selfless, conscientious, and patient behavior of the child. One Reddit user wrote, "I'm speechless. That's so sweet of the boy. I'm surprised the deer trusts someone like that." Another said, "This young man has a big heart, and it's nice that he's being recognized for it. It really is very sweet." In fact, most comments were straightforward messages of gratitude to the young boy for taking the time out of his day to help a vulnerable animal. But one Redditor professed to be more confused than anything, joking, "How does one casually develop relationships with wild animals like this? I need answers." Then, as Blue Collar Classicist's picture story gathered momentum, it began to attract interest from further online media outlets. Those on Reddit, however, were concerned about the future for the disadvantaged deer now that her story had been brought to such attention. But the original poster acted as somewhat of a press agent for the boy and doe over the following few weeks, leaving comments on his post that gave developments on the story. He told Redditors that expert assistance was on its way. His wife had called a local wildlife rescue group to come and help the deer. The couple then expected the animal to be taken to a nearby forest preserve, where the doe would obviously be much safer. But Blue Collar Classicist also expressed concern over the young boy's feelings. "I wish I could do something for the kid. He's probably going to miss her." But as it turned out, there was little need for him to have been worried about the kid's reaction. A Reddit update a few months later revealed that the deer had indeed been taken away by authorities to a safer place, but the schoolboy hadn't been too distraught about it. His concern was very mature, Blue Collar Classicist said on Reddit. He had only been walking the deer for a few days and hadn't named her or tried to claim her as a pet or anything like that. He just wanted her to be okay and was relieved to know she would be safe. So as the vulnerable deer had been rescued from suburban Chicago, the forum turned its attention to something new. Some users mooted the idea of rewarding the young boy for his act of kindness. "Awesome. If you decide to buy the little fella something, I'd really like to pitch in a few bucks to contribute," a kind and thoughtful stranger wrote. But it emerged that Blue Collar Classicist was way ahead of the pack on this one. He wrote on Reddit that he and his wife were so impressed with the love and respect the child showed that they wanted to reward the boy themselves. In fact, Blue Collar Classicist had already been talking to the kid's mom about a couple of possibilities. First, blue-collar classicist and his wife had offered to take the schoolboy off to the local wildlife preserve whenever he wanted. There was also something else they wanted to do. Namely, the couple decided they would print off the photograph that had gone viral online and frame it for him as a memory. However, some Reddit users suggested that all blue-collar classicists needed to do was show the child the post and comments underneath. They argue that this way the kid could see for himself how many people were thankful. One person even went as far as describing the schoolboy as their personal hero for what he had done. "Deer is safe, boy is happy, everyone is relieved," blue-collar classicist wrote. And what's more, his story of the boy and the beast led him to receiving his first Reddit Gold. This badge of honor is awarded to users who contribute strong stories that inspire others or spark interesting conversation, and it's fair to say that the original poster had certainly achieved that.